Namaskar. Today we will continue with our Central Government Central Civil Services Contact Rules 1964, part number 3. We have already seen some basic aspects of the contact rules in the first two videos. Now we are going to see specific aspects one by one. I think we should be able to cover all the aspects of contact rules in another 5 videos at least. With that, we will complete entire part of conduct rules, which is applicable throughout the service of a government servant. Now, in this video, we are going to talk about promptness, the quickness in doing the work, observation of government policies on many things, including marriage age and protecting environment, many things like whatever government law says for the public, we have to set an example rather. That is the idea in that. And most importantly, prevention of sexual harassment in workplace. Visakha case came up to Supreme Court, which has issued guidelines that there should be a committee. So based on that, government has now in the, I think 2013 or so, they have promulgated ordinance, and then I think followed by law to protect the women employees from sexual harassment. But that some of the features, the important aspects have been brought into the conduct rules also. We are going to discuss those parts also in this video. Now, first one, this is the, now earlier whatever we have seen is general do's and don'ts kind of a thing. Now, specifically what we have to do in a particular area. This is what we are going to discuss. Now, performance of a duty. No government servant shall, in the performance of his official duties, act in a discourteous manner. You have to be very respectful. You have to give due regard to the people, whoever you are dealing with the colleagues, higher authorities. You have to give respect, otherwise you will be checked out naturally. And to the public, especially the weaker sections, all. But we try to specifically insist on the weaker sections and other people. So they have to act in a very courteous and in a respectful manner. Next, no government servant shall, in his official dealings with the public or otherwise, adopt dilatory tactics or willfully cause delays in disposal of the work assigned to him. This is the ill of the government departments. Most of the people, either they are irresponsible or they are afraid of taking any decision, taking action. Unfortunately, one needs to be very careful in all rules and other things. But always you have a positive mind, you will find a way out to do the things within the rule. This is my experience. I give my experience also in my these conduct rules. I have given some experience. Likewise, I will give my experience, how we handled in some situation and all. So what is more important is like be prompt. Try to complete the work faster. If there is some urgency in our personal thing, the urgency that we will give to our work, similar thing we have to give to the government work also, because government pays for it. We are paid for all our work and all. Observation of observance of government policies. What are those? There are many policies. Specifically, what are included in the conduct rules we are discussing here. Every government servant shall at all times act in accordance with the government policies regarding the age of marriage. Everybody knows that marriageable age of a male member is 21 years and female member 18 years. Now there is a discussion, there is a consideration to bring women's marriage age also to 21 years. The reason is the physical maturity and mental maturity also. That happens up to the age of 20 years, 21 years. That is a very important point. That is why all these child marriages which were in vogue in our earlier times have been banned, and no marriage can be conducted before the marriageable age of anybody. It is applicable for all. So government servant has got all the more important responsibility on that to marry only after attaining the age of the minimum marriageable age, which is 21 years. And preservation of environment. For environment safety and preservations, government has enacted laws. There is a separate environment ministry, natural life safeguarding. There are many things. So we should contribute to that. We should not be against that policy. So if anything happens in those cases also, people should not feel that it is not my official duty. Why somebody should question? Suppose somebody goes, some government servant on a holiday, he goes for hunting. It is banned as part of environment protection and other things, wildlife protection. So it is my hobby. I am not create a trouble for other people. How can no? There is a law now. As long as there was no law, ancient time king used to go for hunting to show his prowess, his power, his physical power, everything. But now are gone are the days. People cannot do all those nonsense. Because our Sanatana Dharma says we should respect every creatures, including plant and animals and Pasupakshya, that is animals and birds, everything. So government follows that. Our constitution says that. So we have to follow, we have to obey. So people cannot say it is not, I have not done anything wrong in my official duty. Why I should be? There is a law, we cannot violate. And our cultural heritage has to be safeguarded. We cannot ridicule our culture. People are wrong when they say, when they belittle our cultural heritage and all. It is wrong. And it is against the conduct rule. Our culture is one of the greatest culture in the world and very ancient also. So government servant has got important duty on that to follow, to give respect to our heritage and that. Government servant shall observe the government's policies regarding prevention of crime against women. Government servant has got a responsibility to ensure there is no crime allowed. If we can stop, we should try to stop that. Especially for women, again, we have to give more consideration. So we have to observe that policy. We have to ensure that no crime is committed against anybody for that matter, including women. Prohibition of sexual harassment in working women. This is a new insertion after Supreme Court order, and government has also enacted law to protect the respects of women, working women. So based on that, this rule has been inserted, and that rule says no government servant shall indulge in any act of sexual harassment of any woman at workplace. It's obvious. Nobody can do it. It's a crime. So no government servant can do any kind of harassment which is considered to be sexual harassment to any woman. Harassment should not be there. And where is the question of sexual harassment? It cannot be. And what are those regulations? Every government servant who is in charge of a workplace, that is supervisory level, shall take appropriate steps to prevent sexual harassment to any woman at the workplace. So it is not just everybody's responsibility, and the supervisory level people responsibility is more. They have to ensure that their subordinates also behave properly. The supervisory officer should create an environment where there is no scope for any harassment and sexual harassment also. For the purpose of this rule, what does it mean? Sexual harassment includes any one or more of the next whatever we are going to say, acts or behaviors whether it is done directly or by some kind of indication or implication. Let us see that. Physical contact. You can't go and touch a woman naturally. We should respect them. Physical contact or advances. You can't go forward like that. A demand for a request for sexual favors from woman employee, woman colleagues. Making sexually colored remarks. This is again wrong. Showing pornography to the colleagues or whatever it is. Or any other unwelcome which cannot be accepted. Physical or verbal or non-verbal contact of a sexual nature. These can, not only that, these are all prohibited things. People cannot do. The following circumstances, among other circumstances, if it occurs or is present in relation to or connected with any act or behavior of sexual harassment, may amount to sexual harassment. Implied, that is by implication or explicit, openly. Promise of preferential treatment in employment. I will give you, I will promote you, I will give you best job, I will give very light work. All these are all not. If somebody is giving specifically to some one employee, there is a scope for wrong thing. So we have to be careful. You treat everybody equally. You treat everybody equally and within reasonable limit. Then there is no issue. Implied or explicit threat of detrimental treatment in employment. Indirectly or openly making threat, I will not leave you. You will have this trouble, that trouble. Or evening to know you have to stay back till night and complete the work. These are all nonsense. You cannot do. This amounts to, there is a possibility. This may be deemed as or leading to sexual harassment. So we have to be very careful when we work in office, especially with our women colleagues. Implied or explicit threat about our present or future employment status, assuming that somebody is temporary. Oh, I will promote you, I'll make you permanent, or I will support you for all permanency, all those things. Going out of the way and doing and then expecting something wrongly, which may amount to these attitudes. If there is a complaint from the woman employee, then all these things will support their case that this fellow has done something wrong. So one needs to be very careful. So when you try to see the people as your own co-bonds, you may not do all this nonsense. It's simple as that. Interference with their work or creating an intimidating or offensive or hostile work environment for her. Again, unnecessarily you are going interfering or you are threatening or doing all objectionable things so that she is not able to sit and work. This is also another. So when there is a complaint, all these happenings will also be considered. Why this has happened? Why he has created such an environment in office? So one needs to be reasonable in his approach, nothing else. Humiliating treatment likely to affect her health or safety. So you humiliate her unnecessarily. So out of anger, people might feel that when there is really a complaint of sexual harassment, this will also add as a corroborating thing. So he has done something wrong. But there is always other gray area. People make false allegations. So you need to be very careful. Normally, in my experience, after my becoming officer, I never close my office door. I keep always open. At times, you need to be slightly tough with the people if you feel that things are not moving properly. I try to normally pricing I do in front of all the people. If I try to say this is wrong, I try to tell in a discreet manner, in a very decent manner, separately only, but not making unnecessary comment. It is all some of the ways to handle things. And if you are trying to handle a very precarious situation, it is always better you keep one or two. Suppose you are dealing with some woman colleague, you feel things are not normal, you can always keep one or two additional people, which will help you out when your intention is right. These are small tips. It's not in the rule. It's my experience. I'm trying to say how to handle the situation for the people who do not commit mistake or but face such allegations necessarily. For them, this is better way. As I said now, keep the door open always, and don't confide with the woman employee longer time privately. This will all help you. So as simple as that. Now, workplace. What are all workplace? Workplace, every place where people work. Suppose it is written as transport level. Yeah, you go by official car or whatever hired car. When you go, you have to be very careful. You might have heard about one Tamil Nadu IPS officers behavior with the superintendent of police. Both are IPS officers. The case is still going on, I think. So it's all nonsense. We have to be very careful. We have to be very fair and reasonable in such things. Now, with this part of government's employees' behavior is completing. In the next videos, all other aspects of conduct rules will be discussed in detail. Namaskar.